Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. Good morning, Debbie. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. So good. And sometimes so good can just be, you know what, we're here and we're together, right? It doesn't have to be everything is hunky-dory, because guess what? A lot of times everything isn't hunky-dory. But art's always here for us, right? And we're always here for each other. That's for sure. So, good morning, Kelly. How are you? So, I have this really cool idea for today's art journaling entry. And I hope that you're all, you had your breakfast and you have a nice drink. You're going to stay hydrated. Good morning, Tam. How are you today? Since we're winding down the month of September, I thought we should just do one last hurrah to September. Remember, Saturday is the day that brand new art comes out, so be on the lookout for that, and it is darling. I can hardly wait to share that with you. What else did I want to talk to you about? Well, we got a few sprinkles yesterday, but not much. But boy, our friends in Florida and the whole, Puerto Rico, that everybody that's in that path, we are sure thinking and praying for them. Golly, it's kind of crazy down there. Mother Nature is rearing her head, and so we just need to kind of play it out, right? And send all of our good wishes to our friends that live there, our friends and family. They've really been on my mind a lot, Oh my gosh, I did want to say, I read last night, just before I went to bed, that Coolio died. He was only 59. I thought that was awfully sad, and they're thinking that it was a heart attack. I just loved Gangster's Paradise. It's still one of my favorite songs. I just love it. He was a complete character, that's for sure. But he could rhyme like no other, that's for sure. I'm sure that Kanye would argue with us, but what ifs. Good morning, Sarah, Keely. Hey, Carol. Hope all is well in your world this morning. Hi, Tam. I don't remember if I said hi. So let's get started. If you are brand new here, if you would please like, comment, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Ask to join our 2 private Facebook groups, Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott and Stitch the States with Ann Corbiere-Scott. For all things Ann and Artsy, go to AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com. Like for today, we are creating with our September asters, which is on the September art printable. There's a link in the description of this video. So I wanted to start by talking about the entry that we did last week. I'm kind of madly in love with it. I've been thickening my lettering with my Posca, my black Posca. What's so interesting that people feel the need to start and finish a entry in their art journal in one fell swoop, and I'm just going to tell you, your art journal is a constant work in progress. Case in point, the reel that I put out yesterday, let's see if we can find that entry. I had started, do you remember a long time ago we had talked about this? Remember we did this, this was one of the entries we did a long time ago. And this is the one, remember I told you when Keely was visiting, she had done the backside and it was so pretty. And so I had colored the backside of this with art crayons. They're waxy. I can feel it. But then the first one we had done was on World Palindrome Day. Let's see if we can find it. It's in here somewhere. There it is, right? 2/22/2022. And remember, I had spelled palindrome wrong, and so I had to fix it, and then I had to share it with everybody else how I fixed it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, remember my friend Tessa gave me those colors of kindness. She gave me markers, crayons, and colored pencils. And so I wanted to... Oh, good morning, Laura. Oh my gosh. We absolutely are. We absolutely are. You have been on my mind the whole time I'm watching the weather. That's for sure. Don't you dare feel guilty. You know what? Because, you just feel grateful. How's that? Instead of guilty. To try and put a positive spin on it. Anyway, the back side of this page was very much like the back side of the other page that we had created. And this one I went over I'm sure you watched on the reel, I went over the back side of the blue circles with those crayons. And then I used the marker. I used all the same color, and I'm trying to think of the name of that color because it was so good that's what I want to, that's what I wanted to, my next step is to breathe deep. Stop it right now. How good is that? So that's how the words that I want to include on this. I just don't know exact. I kind of have an idea, so I'm kind of working on that. Anyway, then I took the colored pencil, and I went over all of the black, so I'd have this really cool blue-black kind of vibe going. So just know that no matter what you're creating, it doesn't ever have to be done, or it could. Don't feel like a timeline. Do you know what I mean? That you have a certain time to get something done. Art journals are for our exploration, right? I want to take the myth out of that every page has to be a work of art and every page has to be done before you share it with somebody. Absolutely not. Good morning, Patricia. So for today's page, I wanted to share my big idea. So on the opposite side of this, oh, thanks. I went and got a manicure and a pedicure yesterday. My nails are always super short. I think that I want them long, and you know what? They just get in my way. But I will say, there's nothing like having somebody else do your cuticles. That's amazing, right? Okay, so I was talking about how I'm still working on this one. I'm just, like this area where the lettering and the background are kind of in similar tones, like the darkness level. So I'm thinking about how if I want to just do my black letters, if I want to add some white some kind of way, I don't know. Anyway, but for today's entry on this side, I I had this big idea. There we go. So, here's my big idea. It's on this note. Okay, so we're going to draw a rectangle, right? And then we're going to draw some lines inside of that rectangle. And then we're going to start to decorate. But inside of here, we're going to write a September quote. So like our last hurrah with September. So I found this one. September showed up right on schedule and lasted a whole month. I love that one. And then this one, let's strive to be better in September. And I think we were better in September, right? So think about where you want to go, which quote, or if you have a different September quote. And then once we kind of draw and I'm drawing mine so that I have a little bit of an edge, because I want to use this flower, and it's on watercolor paper, but I just don't care today. So I'm going to use this flower. I'm going to fussy cut it. Right? And I'm going to fussy cut it, and then I'm going to cut it in half. Right? So let's see. I'm going to draw some lines over here. I'm going to draw some scallops. And here's the thing. This is just kind of an outline. Because I want this to be truly mixed media. So I want to paint some. I want to do a little bit of collage on here. Besides just my flower, I want to do some bits and pieces. Like maybe I'll cut something out of this. do you know what I'm saying? Like I know I want to do it in jewel tones, but I really want to I have this idea. So let's see. September showed up right on schedule and lasted a whole month. I kind of like that. But I really let's strive to be better in September. Which one do you think? Let's do. And this we can letter however we want. Let's strive to be better in September. There you guys go. See, everybody's going to do something. But you know what? Here's the thing. We can absolutely incorporate both of them, right, in our Ode to September, right? So we could, I could do the lettering of let's strive to be better in September here, and then I left a space for her name here, Charmaine J. Ford. And we could do the September showed up right on schedule and lasted a whole month here. Or we could flip them and flop them. And remember, I'm doing this all in pencil so I can change my mind, right? And change my, well, I think I want September to be pretty prominent. September. And this can be, I like them when they're kind of wonky, when they're showed up right on schedule. Oh my gosh, have a great lunch date. Have a great lunch date, Keels. Thanks, Keels. I'll be texting you. Okay, September showed up right on schedule and lasted a whole month. And then we can do her name here, and then shut up. We can put our flower right here. Right? We can do half of there, half there. Oh, shut up. And then this can be all, this could be the other quote, right? So let's do, okay, so let's strive to be better in September, right here. Stop it. Okay, so, what I want to do is I want to kind of lay out my lettering, but I'm going to put it down lightly with pencil. And this is opposite of what I usually tell you to do. I usually tell you to do your watercolor first, but I kind of need that visual. I mean, it's going to be under layers of stuff anyway, right? So let's do September. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's do, right, that E is the center. And I want to do it to fill a hole. Hey, Christine, how are you? Hey, Liz. That's another cousin. How are you? Hi, Rita. Hi, Janet. Good morning. So I'm going to do a T here and a P. And I want my P to have the same. There we go. September. Oh, I love that. Showed up right. Good morning, Michelle. How are you this morning? Oh my goodness. I am great, Christine. Everybody take a drink. So, while we're laying out our so is everyone laying out your lettering and kind of seeing where you want to go with this? I hope. Well, I'm trying to picture that. I'm trying to picture that, Michelle. I love that. So let's do right here. And here's a little trick. So we're doing, you know what, other people call it by different names, but I just call it fill the space lettering, right? So I'm just filling the whole space with lettering. So I'm adjusting my letters and how I'm drawing my letters to fit the space. Does that make sense? So maybe if I have a space where there's not, where I have a little bit of letters, then I'm going to stretch out my letters to fit. Does that make sense to everybody? But let's see if we can get up. Yeah. Oh, I love Mary Engelbright, don't you? I follow her on Instagram. I adore her. Jeff has a client in St. Louis, and every time I go, oh, I want to go with you so I can go drop in and see my friend Mary. Good morning, Maureen. Oh, that's awful sweet, Christine. Thank you. Let's see, on schedule. Let's do on. Do our E here. Let's see. See how this E is, because I know E, D, U, L, E. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Misty. And lasted, right? So lasted is, we're going to, this is where we're going to have to kind of spread things out. Oh, whoops. Well, we could say a whole month here. We want to do Jenny's name here. So if we have a space like this, we could do a heart right there, right? And then we're going to put our flower here, remember? This is why we use a pencil. There we go. So we want our A. Perfect. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. I hope. I gotta have my my book tilted when I letter. Stop it. I'm loving it. Okay, and then I wanted to put my other quote down here. Oh, or I could put my flower here and fit my other quote around it. Stop it. That might be cool. No. Maybe I need a little space. Let's do. She needs to be a little bit. I just thought of something. We can put her name right there. Small, but it's there. Okay. So now I'm feeling like, so how's everyone doing? Okay, I hope. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you? Everybody take a drink. I'm so glad you're here. So now I think I want to go over my lettering and my line work with my Posca pen. So, I'm going to use my 1M, I don't know what, millimeter, maybe 7 millimeter. I don't know, this size. PC 1M, bullet shaped, 0.7 mm. I'm not a math person. Please. Who are we kidding? Okay, so I'm going to go over my lettering with this just so I have like an idea. And then I really want to start painting and collaging and all the things. And remember, your pencil is just a guide, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. And none of this has to be perfect. It just has to be fun, right? So my gesso that I put on this page is rough, and so my Posca pen's spitting and splattering. I don't care. You shouldn't care either. This isn't a licensed piece of work that you're selling to somebody. This is just an art journaling entry where you're going to learn some new stuff, right? R-I-G-H-T. Hi, Evelyn. How are you? Welcome, welcome. We are working in our art journals today. Remember, if you come in late, you can always go back and watch the rest on the replay, right? So I was reading on the news. I like to read my news because then I can, I'm a sensitive girl. If I read something icky or if I watch something icky, that visual in imagery stays with me. So I like to read it. I mean, I don't read it on cuckoo sites or anything. I read it on, like ABC News or NBC News, or do you know what I mean? Because I can start and stop it. I can, I don't know. Maybe I'm fooling myself, but I feel like I can control what goes in my noggin more if I do it that way. Anyway, all that to say, I was reading this story about, and I heard the story on NPR in the car yesterday, and it was about Lizzo playing James Madison's 200-year-old crystal flute. Okay, so how amazing is this story? So Lizzo had a concert in Washington, D.C., was going to have a concert. One of the librarians of Congress tweeted to her and said, "We would love for you to come." Oh, let's see. It started with a tweet. It was an invitation for Lizzo to visit the world's largest flute collection. And her name was Carla Hayden. And she said, "We would love for you to come and see it and even play a couple while you're here in DC next week. Like your song says, they are good as hell." And so Lizzo tweeted back and was like, "I'm coming, Carla, and I'm playing that crystal flute." So that kind of started the whole thing. And then, so she played some at the Library of Congress, and then somehow they made a plan for the Library of Congress to have people, I'm sure they were special guards or whatever, custodians of the crystal flute, brought it to her concert and handed it to her, and then she played it and twerked because she's Lizzo, because she is an amazing flautist. She's just amazing flautist. Anyway, she played it during her concert, and here's what she tweeted afterward, and I just thought this was so powerful. She said, "Nobody has ever heard this famous crystal flute before. Now you have. I'm the first and only person to ever play this presidential 200-year-old crystal flute. Thank you, Library of Congress." So she made history during that concert. It just gives me chills that a black woman was the first person to ever play that flute. It just gives me chills. It's so powerful. So I guess a renowned flautist from Paris, and now I don't remember his name, but he's the one who created it for James Madison in 1813 for James Madison's second inauguration. How amazing is that? How amazing is that? I'm telling you. It just, oh my gosh, it made me happy. It just made me so happy. I told you, I just like to read nice stories. There's enough ick in the world, right? Isn't that the coolest, Laura? I just thought that was the coolest story. I just love it. let's strive to be better in September. Oh my gosh, isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it absolutely gorgeous, Kathy? I looked at it and I just, holy smokes. Oh my golly, it was just, and all I kept thinking was, that's the positive power of social media, right? Okay, I'm gonna block this off. Write her name, Charmaine. What did I say it is? Charmaine J. Ford. So let's mark. And it's F-O-R-D-E, I believe. Yeah. There we go. She's just a powerhouse, isn't she? Oh my gosh. I love her body positivity. I love her tremendous talent. I love her, I just love her. Everybody take a drink. Oh, Vicky, I hope you're feeling better after physical therapy. Let's see. So now I think I'm going to come in and start to erase some of the lettering lines before I start to put some paint down. In art school, I had this big brush. I need to dig it out, that we could brush all of our, it was kind of a long brush, and it had a long handle, and we could, no, I put gesso. And I put gesso back when I had no idea what I was going to do. Sorry. I just gessoed some pages. But if you put watercolor ground, the same certainly could be true. Or, you know what? If you just want a wrinkly page, we've done that forever and a day too, right? Where we just painted directly on the page. So I'm just erasing the lettering lines, but I'm leaving everything else because I want them a little bit as a guide, because now I want to go in and I want to, I wanted to do that heart. Sorry about that. Like I was thinking about it when I was going over the letters of her name, and then, I don't know. There we go. So now I gotta be careful because it's still wet. Okay. Okay, so now I want to start painting my rows. I want to start painting my background. I want to start painting all of my bits and pieces. So I'm going to get a piece of, I have some deli paper here that I can use to protect my underneath page. And I'm going to Sorry about that crinkle. I'm going to put my palette on top of here so that I'm right here. So let's get this party started. Let's get our paints activated. This morning I am using my Schmenke watercolors that I got when I was on that trip to England. Oh, I think we're going to do something fun in October that I already have ready for us. Yeah, it is a different palette today. And I thought I would try out, remember I was telling you that I had this this paintbrush that I had bought when I was in Texas, and so at this store, Kinokuniya, maybe. Don't take my word for it. So let's start with some turquoise. I'm just kind of feeling turquoise this morning. Get some water going there because we want some watery layers first. You know how we do. So I'm thinking, let's do our background turquoise. And we can just do a watery wash, right? And then we can enhance it in other ways as we go along. So this is, we're never going to finish this in 1 hour's time, just to let you know before anybody asks. We're never going to finish this, but it'll be a good thing for you to work on until we meet again on Wednesday. Because remember, I will be gone. I'm flying home on Tuesday. And I don't remember exactly what time I get home. But this brush is nice, by the way. But we will have pop-in paint party on Tuesday, and then directly following that, we will be having our stitch along in the Stitch the States with Ann Corbiere-Scott Facebook group. I'm just mixing up a little bit more. But this will give everybody a good something to work on while I'm gone. You have lots of moving pieces to create, right? We've got, I got a little pencil shaving there. Okay, so pop-in paint party next week will be Wednesday and Thursday. So mark your calendars. And watch social media on Saturday, as it is World Card Making Day, and we have lots of fun samples for you to see using our October art printable. Oh, I'm loving this. And look, be sure to open your email the newsletter tomorrow because there'll be some sneak peeks in there of the October printable, some artwork created by moi. And the October calendar will be in there. There's nothing like brand new month, is there? It's always like a fresh start to me. I love it. Well, I was just going to say something, Tam. Well, belated happy birthday, or early happy birthday. But I would, like to say the biggest thank you to all of you who support my website, buy my stamps from Unity, buy my embroidery patterns from Adorn It. That support lets me be able to do these free classes every week. Do you know what I'm saying? And so every time, and I try to keep my prices reasonable, not reasonably. My printables are only $5. My classes are only $20. I try to keep things reasonably priced, and so every time you spend $5, just know that that's what pays for all these free classes. And I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm feeling like I want to do another coat of this blue, of this turquoise, once this one dries. And then I want to fiddle around. Oh, I have all kinds of ideas. Okay, let's see. Connie Bennett, well, number one, hello, Connie Bennett. Number two, I used a Posca pen, a black Posca pen for my lettering. Before I forget, how are we doing on time? Oh, it's a good time to open up the comfort book. Let's see what's what. Oh, we're already into part 2. Okay, everyone. Okay, here's a quote from Bruce Lee. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless like water. Now put water into a cup. It becomes a cup. You put water into a bottle. It becomes a bottle. You put it in a teapot. It becomes a teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. That's a good one, isn't it? But I'm feeling like, since that's the intro to the section, let's read a entry by Mr. Haig. River. People talk a lot about flow, work flow, music flow, yoga flow, life flow. If we are stressed about something, we might be advised to go with the flow. What does it even mean? In Siddhartha, Hermann Hesse's novel about one man's spiritual discovery, he writes, "The river is everywhere." The story is indeed partly centered around a river, the central character. Siddhartha himself aims to live his life near a river that provides him with spiritual inspiration. The voices in the river teach him acceptance and spirituality. On the edge of suicide, he falls into a deep sleep and is saved by the soothing voice of the river that helps him discover a spirituality he'd never known. Later, the river teaches him that time is an illusion and that all his problems and pains are part of a larger fellowship of nature. Individual events mean nothing by themselves, but are part of a larger totality and can only be understood within the whole. This is what the river teaches him. For me, the flow of life is about accepting things as part of something bigger, accepting every molecule of water as part of the river. This comforts me when I have moments of torment or suffering. Pain is selfish. It demands full attention. But each moment is part of a totality. Each moment is a brushstroke in a painting, let's say a painting of a river, which when we stand back can be rather beautiful. I have moments of pain so strong I wanted everything to end, but standing back, they're just shadows accenting light. Stop it, you guys. That was a good one, wasn't it? There's something to ponder. That's for dang sure. So now, how are we doing? Oh, I still have a couple minutes. So now I'm going to I want to do all of my lettering, the lines of my lettering. Oh, Debbie, thank you so much. Oh, don't you love Susan Branch? She's just amazing. She's amazing. I remember when she kind of first came to prominence, I just fell in love with her. I have scrapbooks of her. I have books of hers. I have, well, you name it. So now I'm going to start to fussy cut my flower. And I'm curious, like, what colors are you guys? What color are you doing your layout today? I'm curious. And what, I do have a question for you. I'm working on a project for a magazine, and I need your input. So put this in your noggin and ponder it. What are the ways that I asked it during my every week during my stitch along, I ask a question. I pose a question to the group. Sometimes they're silly, like, what's your favorite donut? Sometimes, what's your favorite Elvis song? Because I watched the Elvis movie, and that was on my noggin. But yesterday's was, what ways do you practice self-care? I'm curious. Like, let's have a bigger conversation about it. But also, like, just tell me what your ways of practicing self-care are. How do you, take care of yourself? So ponder it, and then write to me in the comment book. In the comments, write to me. I would love to know what how you practice self-care, and maybe why that, whatever that particular thing is, brings you peace or joy, or whatever it is that action is, why you choose that. Like, what does it do? Does it settle your soul? Does it quiet your mind? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, and if you're watching this on the replay, please do the same. Please be sure to leave me a comment and leave me a comment and be sure to give this. Oh, Michelle, thank you so much. That went right to my heart. It went right to my heart. Thank you so much. Yeah, there is something about painting, isn't there? Yeah, I was just talking last. Oh, if you would please, you know how my brain works, you guys. I go all over the place. But if you would please give, after this video is done, if everybody could give this video a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. That's for sure. And if you watch this on the replay, I hope that you let me know that you watched it on the replay. It's nice to know who I'm talking to. And this is going to look so pretty on there, you guys. Oh my gosh. I can see it right now in my mind's eye. And leave us a comment. How do you practice self-care? And it's so interesting. I wasn't always called self-care. Do you know what I mean? That's just what they call it today. But I've always tried very hard to do little things that, especially when I was a young mom, it was so hard to find time for myself. But those times that I did, oh my gosh. It just, I knew in that circumstance, I needed to fill my cup, right? Sarah, it is a common dilemma. It is a common dilemma. That just in general, some people, and I don't want to generalize, but mostly women, because we're caretakers, we tend to put ourselves last, but we know better. Do you know what I mean? We know better. We know we should be taking care of ourselves. And it could be anything. I mean, that's just it. It could be a walk around the block all by yourself. Because I think you can't be something to others if your cup isn't full. I mean, they've been preaching that to us forever, haven't they? It is, but it is. Yes, Tammy. Well, I think you're kind of doing two things, right? You're feeding your brain, reading, and you're getting some vitamin D. And how can that be a bad thing? Absolutely. Yep, I believe in that, the power of that too. That's for sure. Yeah, I like to stitch too. I like to stitch too, Christine. It just does. It probably is full of vitamin D, I think. That's so funny. So yesterday I went to get a manicure and a pedicure because, like I said, I'm getting out of the house. I'm going to see my sister and my niece. and my nephew and my brother-in-law. I'm so excited, and I'm meeting somebody from our community while I'm up there. I'm super excited about that, Jimmy. And here's the funny thing. So I was like, I needed to get cash for a tip. So I bought myself a bottle of water and some peanut butter M&Ms. It was fabulous. I'm just going to tell you, it was so fabulous. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this in half right there. Stop it, you guys. Or I could do it here. Shut it. Look at that. I love it, love it, love it. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, yes. The Mystery of Mrs. Christie. So, yes, Kathy, join us, join us, join us. Because even if I can't meet you in in person, I can see you on our Zoom call. I love that. I love that. Thanks, Christine. I'm liking it too. Hey, Beth. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, I've gone over, imagine, chatting. So if you are brand new here, if you would please follow, like, and subscribe to Ann Corbiere-Scott Designs on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Then ask to join Let's Get Artsy with Ann Corbiere-Scott and Stitch the States with Ann Corbiere-Scott. And then for all things Ann and Artsy, remember, go to AnnCorbiereScottDesigns.com. That's where all of my artsy classes and my art principles will be. And if you're watching this on replay, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up after it's done playing, and leave us a comment. Tell me about your self-care. I adore that. I love that we can just keep our conversation going. It's like a group text, only through Facebook. I adore you all. Thank you so much. I didn't even get to share, I want to do some collage on here more than this. I just have all kinds of ideas. I hope you do too. I hope you do too. Oh, thank you, Laura. So I will see everyone I'll see you in the newsletter tomorrow. If you have not signed up for my newsletter, be sure to do that. There's a form right here on my page. Whoops, my little fan dropped. Because you just never know what's going to be in there. You just never know. I adore you all. Thank you so, so, so much. And I will see you on Wednesday. So work on this page. That's your homework for the weekend. Work on this page. I will too. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.